Hello everyone, welcome to one another session. Let's learn about part 4 of the chapter Should Wizard Hit Mommy by John Updike. And before we continue with the story, once again let's have a quick recapitulation of some of the important points. We have learned that Roger Skunk's story ends. Jack ends the story by describing that Roger Skunk, although with the help of the wizard, he starts smelling like roses, but Roger Skunk's mother was not pleased with this change, this transformation, although she learned that due to the foul smell of her son, all the other animals, all the other creatures of the woodland won't play with him or with her son. But she just ignored all these complaints of Roger Skunk, and she took her son to the wizard, and she just compelled the wizard change her son's smell back to his real smell. Now this part of the story, this ending of the story was not at all liked by Jo, and according to her, she just felt that how stupid Roger Skunk's mother was. Now the story continues from here, and Jack said that it was not. Means Roger Skunk's mother was not at all a stupid mother. He said with rare emphasis or unusual emphasis, and he also believed that he felt that from her expression he could sense that she had realized that he was trying to defend his own mother to her, or he was trying to just defend something as odd. So this was a kind of belief that Jack had, that mothers or parents, whatever decision they take, generally they take in the favor of their children, and he tried to explain this to Jo, and Jo could sense it also. Now, just after the end of the story, Jack just wished that Jo should now sleep. Now, I want you to put your big heavy head in the pillow and have a good long nap. And then he adjusted the curtain so not even a single crack of day showed, and then he tiptoed to the door, or just he walked very quietly, tiptoed to the door, and not to make any sound in the pretense. To himself, he was trying to give a kind of pretense that she might had slept. She was already asleep. But when he turned from the threshold of the door, he found that she was crouching on the top of the covers and almost staring at him. And there was something that was just not allowing her to sleep with rest. And Jack shouted at her, and hey, get under the covers and fall fast asleep. See, Bobby is asleep. Now, she stood up. She almost stood up upon the bed, and she bounced gingerly or quite carefully, cautiously on the springs or on the springs of the bed. Daddy, what? Tomorrow, I want you to tell me the story that wizard of the story took that magic wand and hit that mommy of Roger Skunk. And when she just said this, she almost enacted the entire scene, that how the wizard would hit the mommy's head with the magic wand on her head, right over the head, she said. But Jack disagreed. Although Jack was in a hurry to go downstairs to help his wife Claire, but at any cost he could not make a compromise with the wrong demand of the child. He said, no, that's not the story. That's not the right way to end the story, and that's not the right way of things. And the point is that he further said that the little skunk loved his mommy more than he loved all the other little animals. And finally, he understood his mother, and she also knew the mother also knew what was right for her son. So in this way, he tried to explain the situation to little Jo. But Joe could not understand this. Joe could not have enough understanding for such realities of life because she had a different world view. And there was nothing that was unpleasant in her own worldview. There could be only pleasant things and happy endings, happiness, merry, joy, that's all. No, but she disagreed and she just insisted upon the fact that next day he should tell the same story but with a different ending. And which ending did she demand? That the wizard should hit Roger's skunk mummy with the magic wand. No, tomorrow you say he hit that mummy. Do it, please. And then she just started behaving in an obstinating manner. She kicked her legs up and sat down on the bed with a great heave, just by releasing a big sigh or breath. And she just started complaining about the springs, the poor quality of the bed, and as she used to do every time, hundreds of times before. And but except this time, she didn't laugh. She was very much serious, and this seriousness was because she was serious about the ending of the story. And she say it, Daddy, she demanded again. Promise, Daddy, that. She just demanded a promise from Jack that he would tell her the same story next day, but with the ending that she demands. Well, we'll see. He didn't make any assured promise, but he somehow managed the situation. And then he asked her, now at least have a rest and stay on bed, and you are a very good girl. Now you please fall asleep, he just asked her. And then he closed the door and went downstairs, and there he saw that his wife Claire was there, and she had already spread the newspaper and opened the paint can, and she was wearing an old shirt of Jack on top of her maternity smock or maternity dress, as she was pregnant, so she was wearing loose clothes, and she was just stroking the chair rail with a dipped brush, the brush dipped in paint. And so when he was standing at the top of the staircase, he saw this particular scene, how hard Claire was at work, and on the other hand, he could still hear the sounds of the footsteps made by Joe up there. So above him, footsteps vibrated again, and from there only he made a call to Joan. Joan, shall I come up there and spank you, or just slap you or hit you? And then the footsteps of Joe hesitated a little. So we see that she was not at all asleep. And then when he joins Claire or come almost, he was on the way from the top of the staircase. So Claire just saw him and just made a comment that he took a long time for that story. That was a long story, and Jack felt very much pity for Joe, that how forcefully she was made to sleep. The poor kid, he said, and then with total and complete weariness or fatigue, he watched the kind of hard work being done by his wife. And there, right in front of him, there was the furniture, the woodwork actually. It was like a cage of moldings and railings and baseboards all around them, and was half old tan. Tan refers to brown color, and half new ivory color. And he just almost felt, looking at that cage like woodwork or piece of furniture, he just thought that he felt caught in an ugly middle position, and a difficult position and difficult to manage. And though he as well as felt his wife's presence in the cage with him, and he realized that he was not the only one caught in this ugly middle position, surrounded by various responsibilities. He was accompanied by his wife Claire too, and he was so exhausted. He was so much mentally tired that he didn't want to speak with her. He didn't want to work with her, touch her, and do anything. So that's the end of the story.